everyone, happy summer! Ivy and I are here today to continue Kitty Cat Storytime into the summer. I'm so excited to bring Kitty Cat Storytime to you throughout the summer because I know a lot of you enjoyed it during the school year for online learning, and I'd love to continue it this summer as well. For our summer series, we're going to be working through some chapter books. I'm going to read a chapter each time I upload, so you'll have to make sure you try to listen to each one so that you're not behind in our story. For our first story this summer, we're going to be reading Ready Freddy, The Reading Race by Abby Klein. And we worked through some Ready Freddy stories in the school year, so I'm excited to continue reading about Freddy because we kind of like him. I'll read the back. Freddy's class is competing in a read-a-thon, and the student who reads the most minutes will win 5 free books, and the class will win an author visit too. Freddy plans to win the contest, even if it means staying up all night. So if you remember, chapter books don't have a lot of pictures, so I'll be reading most of the words without showing you anything, but if there is a picture, I will be sure to show you. Chapter 1, Read-a-thon. Come sit on the rug, everyone, said our teacher, Mrs. Wishy. I have something exciting to tell you about. We all walked over to the rug and sat down. Are we going on a field trip? Asked Robbie. No, said Mrs. Wishy. I know, Chloe yelled. We're going to have a party. I love parties. No, it's not a party, said Mrs. Wishy. Maybe this will give you a clue. She reached over, picked up a stack of papers, and handed one to each of us. The book fair, we all said together. The book fair is coming. Do you remember the book fair from school? All the books in the hallways, so fun. Max jumped off the rug and started bouncing up and down. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. He pumped his fist in the air. By accident, he stepped on Chloe's finger. Ow, 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 she screamed. She was running around, shaking her finger in the air. You broke my finger, you broke my finger. I did not, yelled Max. Yes, you did, Chloe cried. Did not, did too. All right, that's enough, said Mrs. Wishy. Chloe, let me see your finger. Chloe held out her finger so Mrs. Wishy could look at it. See, it's broken. I can only move it this much. If it were broken, you wouldn't be able to move it at all, my best friend Robbie whispered to me. She's such a drama queen, whispered Jessie. Mrs. Wishy gently touched Chloe's finger. I don't think it's broken. I told you, said Max. Well, it's all red, Chloe said. Look! She waved her finger in Max's face. I wouldn't do that if I were her, said Robbie. Yeah, I said. Last time she did that, he bit her finger. Jessie giggled, like an angry dog. Max took a step towards Chloe. Watch out, Robbie whispered. Mrs. Wishy put her hand on Max's shoulders. You need to apologize to Chloe. Why, said Max. If she had her hands in her lap, I wouldn't have stepped on her finger. No, said Mrs. Wishy. If you were all sitting quietly on the rug instead of jumping up and down, then this wouldn't have happened. You really need to be more careful, Max. Yeah, said Chloe. You need to calm down. Max, we're waiting, said Mrs. Wishy. For what? For you to say you're sorry. Fine, sighed Max. I'm sorry, he mumbled. What? Chloe said. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, he yelled in her face. Max, that was not very kind. Please tell Chloe you're sorry in a nice voice. I'm sorry, he said again. Much better, said Mrs. Wishy. Now please go sit in that chair. Max went to sit in a chair by the edge of the rug. Chloe, why don't you go over to the sink and run your finger into some cold water? That will make it feel better. I think I need to go to the nurse, said Chloe. Go to the nurse, I whispered to Robbie. She's acting like she got her finger cut off. No, said Mrs. Wishy. I think your finger will be fine. Just put it under some cold water. Chloe walked up to the sink and Mrs. Wishy came back to the front of the class. Now, where was I? She said. There's Max sitting in his chair, and that's Chloe worried about her finger. You were telling us about the book fair, said Robbie. That's right, said Mrs. Wishy. The book fair will be here in the next week. I can't wait, I said. I love the book fair. Me too, said Jessie. There are always so many books. Like this one, said Robbie, pointing us to a book on the paper Mrs. Wishy had given us. It's called The Night I Saved the Universe. It's about a boy who goes into outer space with an alien police officer to help him solve crimes. Are there any Angelina Ballerina books? Chloe asked as she walked back to the rug. Those are my favorite. Angelina is a ballerina just like me. She spun around once before she sat down. Oh, look, said Jessie. Here's a cool book about basketball. I'm going to ask my abuelita, my grandma, if I can get this one. Girls can't buy basketball books, said Max. That's Jessie, excited about basketball. Jessie really likes sports. But Max just told her that basketball's not for girls. What do you think about that? Why not? Said Jessie. Because those are boy books, said Max. There's no such thing as boy books and girl books, said Jessie. Boys and girls can read any book they want. That's right, said Mrs. Wishy. And I need all the boys and the girls to do a lot of reading over the next week. Why? Said Robbie. Because the book fair is holding a contest, said Mrs. Wishy. A contest? Said Max. What kind of contest? Well, said Mrs. Wishy, we're going to have a readathon for 1 week, and the person who reads the most minutes will get to pick 5 free books from the book fair. 5 free books? Wow, said Max. That's awesome. Wait, there's more, said Mrs. Wishy. More, said Robbie. Really? Really, said Mrs. Wishy. Each class will add up all the reading minutes, and the class that has the highest total will get an author visit. No way, said Robbie. I've always wanted to meet a real-life author. Mrs. Wishy gave each of us a piece of paper. So here's the paper you need to fill out each day with the number of reading minutes. Your parents also have to sign it. That's so you don't cheat, said Chloe, looking at Max. I'm not a cheater, you are. Max said to Chloe. I am not, Chloe whined. Oh boy, here we go again, I said. You two need to stop, said Mrs. Wishy. It's not polite to call someone a cheater, and no one in our class cheats. Chloe and Max glared at each other. Mrs. Wishy continued. So, for the next week, let's all read, read, read. I bet we're all going to work really hard. We can win that author visit. That's the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 is called Let Me Tell. So I hope you're enjoying Kitty Cat Storytime, reading 1 chapter each upload. Ivy and I will see you in the next video. Bye.